Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Rob, theinsuranceartist.com, coming to you for day 2 of the biggest scams in insurance. I've been super excited since the last video because a lot of time yesterday was spent editing and putting in some cool stuff there. My first time in it, as everybody knows, first time you do anything, it takes a little bit longer, but now I think I've gotten the hang of it. Pretty excited to do that. Hope everyone took a couple minutes yesterday. It was a little bit of a longer video, about 6 minutes, to talk about bodily injury limits and how important it is to keep those pretty high. I've been talking about that for several years now, so hopefully a lot of you folks have picked up on it, and your bodily injury limits are at least at 100, 300. Had another discussion yesterday with someone that I think was at 50, and a homeowner. We were talking about umbrellas, and we're talking about umbrellas, which is $1 million in liability. You sure as heck need those underlying limits up higher than 500. Most companies require 250, 500. So really excited about that. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Yet again, in the early morning, I've got some meetings this morning, so I decided to go ahead and shoot this video and get that out here for you to talk about the number 2 biggest scam in insurance, as I see it. One of those things that you can do to protect yourself. Again, had a conversation yesterday with someone, and again, this is something I've talked about with all of you, which is roadside assistance and those issues that go along with that on your auto coverage. A lot of folks will simply have that roadside assistance on your auto policy. It is relatively inexpensive. I've never seen roadside assistance more than $30 a year for 2 vehicles when you've got full coverage on those vehicles, as opposed to a AAA membership or other roadside assistance opportunities. Every bit of $75 to $100 a year if you're looking at 2 or 3 members on that. So it's a little bit less expensive, and so people would imagine that it makes more sense to have instead of going out of that AAA. But here's the problem: you are surcharged every single time you use that towing and labor. Keep in mind, the reason that the towing and labor was ever put on auto insurance to begin with was in the event of an accident where your car is undrivable. You're then going to have a towing opportunity built within your policy, and that's going to couple in with that larger collision or whatever total that your company is going to pay out for. So it doesn't make any sense to simply use a separate towing if you don't have an accident. But nevertheless, our companies have extended that opportunity to you, and therefore just giving you enough rope to really screw yourself, quite frankly, and end up in a bad situation. I've had countless people, including a couple this week already, that have 4, 5, 6, 10 towing items on their policy for the last 3 to 5 years, and it just absolutely screws you. All of our companies primarily will decline your coverage because you're reoccurringly using that insurance.
Not today.
So it's important, if you're going to use roadside assistance, if you've got things that you think maybe a little bit of an older vehicle, I would recommend AAA. I have AAA. $49 per person, actually $49 for the first person, $24 for the next. And year long, I think we have 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken, opportunities there. But one of my cars is still covered under roadside assistance with the vehicles, with the financing company, because it's a newer vehicle. So those are a couple of ways for you to get out of having to use roadside assistance with your auto coverage. It's not a big deal to add that to the policy, meaning premium wise, when we're talking about cutting costs and you want to decrease your the amount of money you pay. Roadside assistance isn't going to do that very much for you, but what it will do is limit you in the amount of times you have to use your insurance, therefore protecting you in the future. So just something to think about there. That's a pretty big deal. Now, the good news is a lot of some of our companies, Travelers included, State Auto as well, have stopped surcharging. They've started using an outside agency. Now, the roadside assistance goes up a little bit, but in the end, you won't be surcharged for that. So perhaps there's a little bit of a shift in the paradigm with our insurance companies. Maybe they're watching theinsuranceartist.com. Who knows? Just something to think about. So we've got, as a reminder here, on Monday, number 1.
Rule number 1.
We talked about bodily injury limits and the importance of keeping those high, 100, 300, very important. And then number 2.
Rule number 2
is roadside assistance. go ahead and get that roadside assistance off from you. Not necessary, in my opinion. Let's talk about AAA. We offer memberships. AAA is a great company. So just something to think about. TheInsuranceArtist.com. 502-637-4733 is the office number. Rob H. at HighlandINS.com. Hope everybody enjoys the video. Give me a shout out. Share it on Facebook. Much appreciated. Everybody have a great day. Looking forward to tomorrow, where we're going to talk about yet again the number 3 biggest scam in insurance as we see it. Something you can do to protect yourself with better coverage, but then also save you some money in your pocketbook. Everybody have a great day. Talk to you soon.